In this video, we'll discuss interacting with landlords. In the steps to securing an off-campus rental, setting your criteria and searching for rental listings were discussed in a previous video. In this video, we'll focus on contacting landlords, viewing a rental unit, completing a rental application form, getting approved, signing a lease, and providing rent payment. How to contact landlords. You can contact the landlord by email or phone, or by whichever method is identified as the preferred method in the rental listing. Try to avoid giving too much personal information. Discussing personal problems or stressors may not be received well by the landlord. Express interest in the unit and ask if it's still available. Request an appointment to view the unit. Present yourself as an ideal tenant and show your interest. Here's an example of a script to help you when you're reaching out to landlords. Options for viewing a rental unit. You can view the unit in person, arrange a virtual viewing, or have a family member or a friend view the unit on your behalf. In this case, you can also be involved via video call. If at any time you need clarification about anything to do with the unit, ask the landlord. Here are some questions you might want to consider. Here's an example of a rental application form. When you're completing an application form, try to make sure that each item is complete as much as possible. However, please note that providing your social insurance number is not mandatory, and you do not have to provide it on rental applications. If there's any section that you're not clear about, ask the landlord for clarification. If there are sections that you can't complete because you're new to Canada, try to explain this to the landlord and look for alternative options for showing that you're an ideal tenant. To help the process go smoothly, be prepared to provide the landlord with the completed rental application form, proof of your student status, proof that you can pay for the unit, and rental or character references. These could be a letter or contact information from previous landlords, employers, friends, or family who can communicate in a language that is spoken by the landlord. Also include the contact information for a guarantor or co-signer if you have one. Once your rental application is approved, there are a few important next steps. Generally, you would need to sign a lease. Leases are typically for 1 year and are a legal contract. 4 and 8-month leases may be negotiated with some landlords who focus on student rentals. Ensure that you read the lease agreement thoroughly and ask questions. Both you and your landlord sign the rental agreement or lease. Make sure you receive a copy of the lease that has your landlord's signature. Keep the lease in a safe place. The next step would be to provide rent payment. There are a few important things to keep in mind when you're paying for your rent. Generally, 2 payments are expected by the landlord. The first payment when the lease is signed would be your last month's rent that covers the future payment for the last month that you live in the unit. Generally, you'd make the first month's rent payment upon move-in. However, some people opt to pay first month's rent at the time that they sign the lease. Avoid paying in cash if possible. If you pay in cash, get a rental receipt immediately. Keep in mind that the rent price is generally not negotiable. It's important to be aware of where you can get legal help if needed. The information provided in this video is general information and not to be construed as legal advice. For legal help, you can access the CSI Legal Protection Plan, your local community legal clinic, or stepstojustice.ca. We're here to help. Reach out to us at internationaltransition@conestogac.on.ca or follow us on social media. Good luck with your housing search.